P2B in Plateau State as he continues to tour many states around the country where he won the presidential election to thank them for voting the Labour Party en masse and also to encourage them to come out en masse the second time to vote for their different governorship candidates in the states where the Labour Party is very popular. Yes, people need to be encouraged because a lot of people are discouraged, they are downcast, they've given up hope because the person that was announced the winner of the election did not win the election. The presidential election has come under serious scrutiny by the international community. Before we see the results that you see on the thumbnail, the results of the presidential election in Plateau State, let's hear what NADECO is cooking in Washington, D.C.
Members of NADECO here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press, I bring you greetings on behalf of NADECO and the people of Nigeria. NADECO welcomes you to the first of its series of events planned over the next several weeks regarding the recently held presidential election in Nigeria. For those who are not quite familiar with NADECO, I'll give you a little bit about the group. The National Democratic Coalition, for short, NADECO, is Nigeria's premier and foremost pro-democracy group based here in Washington, D.C.
I want to say that what happened in Nigeria was not election observation, but a crime watch. We watched a crime being perpetrated on a country of 200 million people with utter and complete impunity. Now, just to show you the extent of the mischief that occurred, the results for the National Assembly elections, which occurred at the same time, simultaneously with the presidential results, were able to be uploaded, but the presidential election results were not uploaded. And till this day, as we speak, the results have not even been completely uploaded. What is even shocking is that we have seen photographs of individuals, a woman in a bathroom. The sad point is that one of our co-travelers, in the effort to restore democracy to Nigeria, is now complicit in undermining democracy in Nigeria. In 1997, when I came on exile myself, after having been imprisoned by General Abacha, I had the privilege of meeting Senator Bola Tinubu in NADECO in exile in the UK. So we have been in the trenches fighting for democracy, and it is painful for us to see what is happening, that we're not making the progress that we think we should make. I want to wrap up my remarks by making a couple of points. That it is not that the elections in Nigeria were handled badly, but that the rigging in Nigeria was handled badly. There was no effort, there was no sincere effort to conduct an election in Nigeria. What happened was an insincere effort to conduct rigging. And that is why you will see cancellations. You will see unbelievable atrocities that were done. They didn't even make a genuine effort to hide the manipulation of the elections.
That's what a democracy is. That's the greatness of America, is the process. It's not the people, it's the process. It's not the result, it's the process. How our government works, how our elections work. And the process of this election in the 2023 Nigerian presidential elections appears to be fundamentally flawed. We believe, NADECO believes, that the February 25 to 26, 2023 election, the results, the hasty announcement of the results, are fundamentally at odds with the Nigerian election laws. And as Dr. Ogebi said very clearly, they didn't just violate rules, they violated their own laws. INEC glorified their efforts to make this the cleanest, the purest, the most transparent and fair election in Nigerian history, in African history. And yet, they violated every single fundamental tenet in every single law. They instituted The bimodal voter accreditation system, you've heard about that, the BVAS, all that is, make no mistake about it, there's a lot on the internet that seems to, people want to believe that when you voted with the BVAS, that recorded your vote, and your vote was sent somewhere, and it went to a server, and it was tabulated, and somehow Tinubu or the APC were able to hijack that electronic signal. That's not what happened. It was more pernicious than that. It was more old-fashioned than that. All the BVAS does was gave you two modes of identification, both your card, you put your card, your voting card, your PVC in, and it also did your fingerprint and face identification. But it failed. And the reason BVAS was important is so that people couldn't vote more than once. Vote early, vote often. The reason it's important is so people could not vote that had fake cards.
Yes, they are mounting pressure on the international community to not recognize the president-elect, that they should mount pressure on Nigeria and the Nigerian judiciary to do the right thing, and INEC should be made to prove the process. That's why when Peter Obi said that he is challenging the process, you will find out that a flawed process can never produce anything good. So definitely when they prove that the process was flawed, that INEC didn't obey the rules, that INEC intentionally blocked the upload of presidential election results, while it was possible to upload National Assembly election results, which is practically impossible unless someone intentionally pulled the plug, because they connect to the same server, the same port, and by blocking the upload of the presidential election results, INEC now had to rely on manual collation of results, which gave room for the rigging and manipulation of the results. All these added to the intimidation and massive disenfranchisement of the electorates. Up till now, several days after they declared a presidential elect, more than 10,000 polling unit results have not been uploaded to the INEC servers. And these 10,000 polling units represent up to 5 million voters. And if you look at the final results that INEC declared, the difference between the first and the second person is less than the number of votes that are still missing on the INEC IREV. So how in the world did INEC arrive at the declaration? How did they arrive at the result that they declared before they said this person won the election? Now let's look at the Plateau State presidential election results that have been making the rounds. It is rumored that this is the correct presidential election results for Plateau State, that Labour Party polled more than 1 million votes, but their votes were reduced, like they did in Lagos. As you are aware, the PDP stated that their Situation Room report says that Labour Party got more than 900,000 votes in Lagos State. But eventually, what INEC announced was about 500 and something thousand votes for the Labour Party. And going by circumstantial evidence, it is obvious that this result is true for Lagos and possibly Plateau State. Considering how INEC conducted this election, one wouldn't throw this information away without further investigation. Also in Lagos, it is obvious that the current governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, saw the real results. That's why he's rattled seriously. He's seriously worried that if there is massive turnout in the governorship election, that he is obviously going home. He's not going to be re-elected. When you see some polling unit results from Plateau State, it is obvious that they voted massively for Labour Party. Look at this one, 500 and something, and the nearest is PDP, followed by APC. Is it legal for INEC to accept this kind of result? This is the state-collated result for Plateau State. Serious alterations, and they are even using TPEX on the result sheet. INEC has to prove to Nigerians how they arrived at the results that they announced. Considering the fact that Bola Tinubu lost in Lagos, he lost in Katsina, the home state of Buhari, he lost in Kano, he lost in Kaduna, he also lost in Anambra. So where did he get the votes? Where did he win? All the states where you have massive votes, he did not win them. Where did he get the votes that was declared for him? Anyway, let's leave the rest for the Labour Party to prove in court. All eyes are on the judiciary in Nigeria, all eyes of the world, the international community. Nigerians are hoping that they do the right thing, and the people that perpetrated this heist on Nigerians should never go scot-free, so that it will serve as a lesson to others. People should not benefit from the crimes they commit, because it will not be a deterrent if they know that they can rig an election and get away with it, get sworn into office, and continue to use state money, state resources to fight the opponents. They will be motivated in future to do worse than we are witnessing today. But if they don't benefit in any way, all litigations are concluded and the rightful winner declared and sworn in, they will not want to rig elections in the future. Rather, they will go around and campaign like the normal way of campaigning, instead of depending on structures of bribery, of corruption, of rigging elections. They will campaign the normal way and market themselves to the citizens in order to be voted for. Anyway, let's hear what Peter Obi is saying as he talks to the press in Plateau State.
Look at how people are suffering today. Look at how poor people are suffering today. We want a Nigeria who care for the poor. A Nigeria where there will be security, rule of law, and care for the poor. That's the Nigeria we want. Now I'm thanking them and urging them to go out on the 18th March to continue in the same vein of supporting that movement of a new Nigeria, which is anchored on Labour Party.
What's the name of your candidate in Plateau?
I don't need just to say the name. And I'll show you.
My wife told me that you are named
is the man of today, but assuring you of the commitment through him, through other members of Labour family in different places. We want to build a new Nigeria.